So it has to do with Mr. President's loan. In fact, maybe I should say continuous loan requests. It's barely been 2 months. Mr. President wrote to the National Assembly, your colleagues, requesting for about I think $8.3 billion. Here he is again, this time over $4 billion. That's about 2.2 trillion naira. And we also have 710 million euros. I wonder what you make in the first instance of the borrowing plan of this administration, and of course, which in turn is a representative of your party.
Yeah. Initially, sincerely, I had nothing against borrowing, in as much as such borrowings are applied to infrastructural development and some other things that will bring back development to the country, and that can also increase our earnings economically, so that we'll be able to pay back. But the rate at which we borrow nowadays is fearful. And even if, you see, one thing that fears me most is that these loans we are talking about is not going to be paid back by me and you, but also to some other generations. Because unfortunately, again, if you look at our national budget, the amount with which we are servicing our loan are so much, is not less than 50% of the national budget. So it simply means that it is about 50% or more. It simply means that whatever is left is what can be applied on payment of salaries of civil servants and capital expenditure. And if you look at the volume of our capital expenditure, the amount that is being appropriated for capital expenditure is far, far below the amount we are applying in servicing our loan. So that is where my concerns comes from. Unfortunately, again, we are not having series of sources of income. We are just a mono economy. This government at the beginning decided or promised to take Nigeria away from mono economy and increase budgetary allocations to agriculture, and also ensure that we have more earnings coming from agriculture that can stay side by side with income from oil. Unfortunately, we have not gotten there at all. Even the amount of budgetary allocation to agri is not something that can actually stand to grow the agri sector. So my fear is that, unfortunately, again, we don't have control over our major source of revenue to the extent that we can increase it to that level that it will be comfortable enough to be able to pay back our loan without any stress. And that is where the worries come from. So if we continue to use the money we are supposed to use to better lives, we are using it in servicing loan repayments, not even the capital repayments. We're talking about interest repayments. So the capitals are not coming in yet. So you see, it's really, I'm afraid that time will come that the entire budget may now be the one used to service our loan. Well, the only reason we may not get there is for government to go back again to the people that have loaned us money to rearrange again. And rearranging of the loan means pushing forward to further years the repayments, and which is also pushing forward the pains. However, do not let us just be talking about these disadvantages alone. One good thing about this government,
I understand the loan is for infrastructural.
That's where I want to move to. One good thing about the government is that most of the loan, if not all, have been put into infrastructural development. Sukuk loan, for instance, if you go to most of the roads that have been constructed, go to Oyo Ilorin Expressway, you will see some areas where they put sukuk loan, meaning that those loans are attached to specific infrastructure projects. So that is what I would also like this government to continue to do, these new loans that they're talking about, we should have an analysis of that loan, specifically what they're supposed to be applied to.
All right.
Because some of these loans has been applied to some road construction and some other infrastructure development that have not even finished. At the time they were taking the loan, they said they will use those loans to finish those projects. Yet, those projects have not finished.
Have not been finished. The other issue for many Nigerians is that we keep asking, this administration has recovered a lot of loots. So why are the loots? I mean, one had thought that maybe they should have been used for some of this kind of projects instead of borrowing. Very
unfortunate too. As an accountant, I expected that why do you have to warehouse money when you are in need of so much money? For instance, sometimes ago, the EFCC chairman came to the National Assembly and someone asked him, where are the loots? They said there is one presidential task force or one presidential team that will decide on what to do. And again, the jewelries that were taken away, that were taken from Desiani are still in the coffers of the EFCC. Which does not make any sense to me. The value of the jewelries alone, is about 14 billion naira. That was what, either naira or dollars, I don't know what, I can't remember.
All of this put together, the Buhari administration unable to provide detailed explanation of some of these recovered loans and what the loans are used for. Is that a bad precedent for your party, the ruling All Progressive Congress?
Is that a bad what?
Is that a bad development for your party?
For me as a chartered accountant, it's a bad development, especially for an administration that wants to be seen as being clean. We have to come clean at all times and in all situations. In this particular case, it is common sense that you can't be having money that you are not going to pay any interest on.
All right.
You keep it and you are borrowing money that you are going to pay interest on. I am talking basically as a chartered accountant. It does not make any sense to me for you to warehouse. It's just like you as a businessman putting money in bank account and you are going outside there to go and borrow money to finance your project. It doesn't make any sense.
Honorable Kehinde, former member House of Representatives, in fact two-term member of the House of Representatives, I would like to thank you most kindly for your views and insights tonight. I need to specifically thank you for speaking more as a chartered accountant than even a politician tonight. Thank you so much for making our time to be here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, so we have to go now. Unfortunately, time not enough to discuss other issues with Honorable here, but thank you so much for being on the program this afternoon. My name is Kelly Egiga. Good evening.